What's up? It's another wealthy day in the neighborhood, and thank you so much for choosing to be my wealthy neighbor. Welcome to the 14th episode of Wealth Talk TV, and I just want to thank you guys so much for continuously rocking with me every Wealthy Wednesday with your wealthy information, your wealthy nuggets, your wealthy vibes. This is a dope episode. So this episode we have a inspirational maven, a content king, a trendsetter, generational curse breaker, a just a wealthy individual within his own right. InspireThaGreat, and I'm not really sure if you guys are familiar with InspireThaGreat, but InspireThaGreat is the man behind the Instagram page InspireThaGreat, and he's responsible for a lot of your inspirational snips, your inspirational quotes, talking a great deal about alignment. So he's going to come on and just give us his wisdom, give us his wealth of knowledge, and grant us just some insider information on his experience and some of the things that help push him forward. He really doesn't need too much more introduction in this. I'm just gonna allow the man to speak for himself. His name is Zachary, and InspireThaGreat is his brand. What's up?
Blessings, blessings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Like
I,
this is big.
I know. No, I had to, man. I just like to randomly support people, just
Yeah,
put that energy into the universe. Because what would my page be without that, The
right.
networking and everything. It's a lot of times we forget that Instagram is just numbers.
True.
It's
True.
nothing but numbers. The likes, the comments are nothing. What matters is like even this conversation we'll never forget in our lifetime.
Right, right,
It's
right.
those that matter. The numbers don't matter. Everything else is cool, but the real interaction with people is what matters.
Dope, dope, dope.
I
Well,
like the background though. Yo, that one, the white one, is
oh,
fire.
thank
That
you.
one is retarded. When I seen that on my page, I'm like, yo, that's one of the main reasons I'm a support. I'm like, yo, hard, man.
Thank
That was
you.
fire.
Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you. I appreciate it so much. Well, let's go ahead and start it. So, first off,
Yeah,
tell us your name and a little bit about yourself, and we'll kick it
no
off.
stuff. So my name is Zaki, so short for Zachary Ali.
Hmm.
Born in Africa, East Africa, Somalia to be exact. Grew up there the first 8 years of my life. Then came to Canada. Grew up in Canada the rest of the years till about, I would say, I've been coming to Seattle, Washington. Been going to Seattle, Washington the last, I would say, 10 years because of my nieces and nephews. Was
Okay.
kind of my getaway from Canada.
Okay.
So that's where I met the wifey and everything. And I've been living in actually Seattle. I know you're from Portland, so
Well,
I
I'm
live
in
in Portland.
Portland. Yeah, I live in
Yeah,
Portland. Yeah.
yeah. So I live in Seattle, Washington right now. So um, started the brand less than 2 years ago. The brand skyrocketed. Just wanted to put my inspiration and my purpose into the universe. I'm 28 years old, a father of two, and just a visionary.
Dope, dope. Well, you
Yes,
already
sir.
said a mouthful right there. So,
Yeah.
Zachy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so since you already started talking about your purpose, like what is your purpose?
So my purpose is to put energy and inspiration into the universe. And how I knew that is ever since I was young, it was just things and feelings and attractions that I was getting. You
Mhm.
just don't know what labels to put on them.
Right,
Like when you're like 15 years old and like things are happening your way, but you don't know you don't know that it's law of attraction, kind of like that.
right,
So I
right.
was in Kenya, Nairobi, East Africa, when I was 7 years old, and I was walking with my father downtown, and we were downtown. I grabbed his hand and I said, "Dad, one day I'm gonna own that building."
Mhm,
7 years old. And
mhm.
he always reminded me of that story. Not work in that building, not be a manager at that building, but own that building.
Right.
So from 7 years old, I knew I wanted to be greatness. I knew I wanted to do things really huge. And when I came to Canada and I seen the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
so different from Africa. I'm like,
Right.
yo, it's sweet over here. Like
Right.
what? Like
Right.
this is a different type of opportunity. So I just never looked back and anything from there on. And so I went back to Africa when I was 14 years old, and certain things happened where it was wake up calls,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just the universe telling me, yo, if you have that opportunity, don't play with it.
Right. Right.
I almost died a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yo, if I'm still here, there's a reason why I'm here.
Right.
So when I came back to Canada, I did everything in my control to not do anything out of my control.
Right.
I didn't do things that's gonna f up my game plan or f up my vision or anything of that sort. So my purpose has always been to really tap in with the people and just be of the people. Like I have a passion, and the way I speak and the way I talk to people and the way I'm good with words and everything was one of my signs that I'm supposed to be inspiring the people, you know?
Right.
And you don't know how or when, as you
Right.
know. Like you
Right.
don't know when it's gonna pop off, when it's gonna work. But the fact that you just try it is
Right.
you doing your part, and the universe is gonna do the rest. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Dope. Well, you already answered my other questions where it's like how did you find it and how are you fulfilling it?
Yeah,
So tell me how was Inspire the Great formed? Because first of all, let me just say,
yeah,
this up front that this is the face
yeah,
behind your motivational
yeah,
clips. This is content king,
yeah.
inspirational maven,
I
Inspire
appreciate
the
it.
Great. So
I
with
appreciate
that being the case, like you said that you started like 2 years ago. How
it.
was
Right.
Inspire the Great even formed?
So dope story behind Inspire the Great was my page was called Hustle the Great.
Mm,
So it's called Inspire the Great. So I
mm,
was tapped into Nipsey Hussle since 2011.
right.
So really fucked with him heavy. When a rapper or an artist, I should say, he's not a rapper. When an artist can take you from listening to music to searching on Google what equity is,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different type of content. It's a
Right.
different type of connection, right?
Right.
So been heavily listening to Nipsey Hussle, his interviews, learning about him, his game plan and everything. And I'm like, yo, let me make a page that's
Mm-hmm.
directly towards him, not a fan page, but a page that um, posts his lyrics and interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Because a fan page is more so pictures and stuff of him. I don't
Right.
want to follow him. I don't want to know his lifestyle to that extent. I just
Right.
want to give people an inspiration and let this man know how great he is. Mind you, this is the page got started, if I'm not mistaken, in 2015.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So way before the album, way before Grammys, way
Right.
before
Right.
almost damn near Crenshaw time,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know? So long time ago. So I said, yo, let me put people on this guy and his frequency so they can really understand that you can come from nothing.
Right.
That no matter who you are, where you come from, he's East African like me,
Mm-hmm.
born and raised in gang violence and gang related situations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of it,
Mm-hmm.
came at it through the system, broken system. So all that to let you guys know, yo, we can all do it. So it started from Hustle the Great, and then one day randomly, about I would say about a couple years into it, I'm like, yo, Nip is great. Nip is a man. He's a brand. He's a business. He's a hustler already.
Mm-hmm.
Hustle the Great is already him. How can I brand myself?
Right.
So I just wrote Inspire the Great,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So I put Inspire on one side of the paper and the Great on the other, right?
Right.
And what people need, they're on one side of the bridge, and to get to the other side of the bridge, they just need inspiration.
Right. Right. Right.
So I put the bridge on there, and that's how the Golden Gate Bridge actually is my logo.
Dope. Okay. Okay.
So
I can see
the
that.
the reason for that is the Golden Gate Bridge stands for two
Mm-hmm.
ways of life. It brings family, friends, love, peace, happiness, opportunity together, but it's
Right.
also the highest suicidal rate in the world as
Mm.
far as bridges, right?
Okay. Okay.
So life can be difficult, life can be hard, but life also is what you allow it to be.
Right. Right. Right.
So I wanted to put that image behind that. Even though they see a bridge, they're like, what's the meaning behind it? Intentionally, I wanted it to be, yo, even if you're on a bad part of the bridge, it doesn't end there.
Right.
a bridge starts at one place and ends at another place. There might be traffic in the middle, but
Right.
because there's traffic in the middle, it's not like you're gonna park your car and say fuck it.
Exactly.
The traffic is gonna move, life is gonna move, life is gonna go on. Just
Right.
keep dealing with it and just change your frequency and tap into a different frequency, you know? So turn it into Inspire the Great, which the logo came about. And for everybody listening, just start somewhere, man. I'm telling you right now, if you scroll down my page, the more
Right.
down you go, the uglier it gets.
I saw that. That's one of the things that I do
Yeah,
is like I always like when there's somebody that I admire, I
right.
go to their page to figure out when they got started and
Study
what
them.
it, yeah, and what exactly it looked like
Right,
when they initially started. That way
right,
it shows me, number one, the time frame that it took, because
right,
there's a time frame in transition, as
right,
well as it, it also shows me how to be easier on myself, because I'm not in the position that I think that I should be in,
right.
in the place that I have a desire to be in,
Mm,
because I'm not
mm,
in that spot particularly. It gives
right,
me a bit more grace and a bit more patience with myself, because I see
right,
that other people have to go through their own transition just like I have to go through my own transition.
right. And that's exactly why I said that, because a lot of times there's nothing in the world more harsh to ourselves than us,
Right.
because the mind is so powerful. So I just started somewhere, man. I remember literally taking screenshots in the story section of Instagram and posting it on the actual post. Didn't
Mm,
know how, didn't know when, didn't even know about apps you can use, apps that you can make quotes with. So I was
right.
just doing it off story.
Right.
I knew two things. I knew one, putting good energy is going to bring that energy back. And
True.
I knew secondly, God is in control of everything. So
Amen.
long as I do my part, the rest will happen.
Right.
So
Right.
see me posting the black and whites that you seen, and it was Hustle the Great. And it was more so talking about like the greats that I've studied. So
Mm,
I've been studying for so long, and I'm like, yo, if I die with this, what did this do for me?
right. Right. Right.
Steve Jobs, the Steve Harveys, the all the greats of the greats, all Nightingale, this amazing people that I've studied, and I'm like, yo, all these millionaires, all these billionaires, all these visionaries, they have a story behind them, and once you study the greats, is how you become a great.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I tapped into that. I just continued posting, and then, like I told you earlier, you don't have to know how. Just a few random people came by me and they're like, "Yo, here's a free logo.
Right.
Yo, here's a free design. Here's a free this and that." And that's how you see it growing, growing, growing till I actually did the logo, and I stayed with the logo for a very long time. So
Right. 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 Dope. Dope. Man. Wow. That's amazing. And what you said in the way that you said as far as your start, I honestly
right,
saw my own self, because that's where I began. That I began with just reading quotes and
mm,
writing them down as much as possible and storing the information within, so that when I
yeah,
actually speak, I would be able to say something that not only I can relate to, but I live through. You know,
right,
and
right,
to get to a place where it's like, okay, I got all this information now. I'm you can research, but without
yeah,
execution, the research
won't do
means
that.
nothing. you
Right.
know so that's amazing. I'm glad that you stated that, because I can relate to that. I've experienced that as well. So what were some of the adversities that you experienced getting to this point, and how did you overcome them?
The biggest one I've over, not even before I overcame, the biggest one that I felt is overthinking.
Okay.
That 24/7, and like, yo, don't get it twisted. Like, let's be completely honest. To this day, it still happens.
Right, right, right.
Like, what's his name say? To this day. Um. So even with the brand that I have now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
as human beings, like we label everything. It's not bad.
Right,
Like overthinking to a certain extent is bad, but questioning certain things is not.
right,
Like if I'm not feeling like I'm not growing or I'm not making the opportunities that I should, questioning it, there's nothing wrong with it. Just
right,
overthinking can be painful over time. So the biggest one is like, yo, what am I doing? What
right,
am I getting out of it? Like what's coming back to me? What am I attracting? What growth have I made? Things of that nature where my mind is playing games with me. Like, yo, you've been posting, but what else?
right,
Posting is cool, but how is it felt? How is it moving people? What reactions and results are you getting back? So my main goal, even on my Inspire the Great page, was to really reprogram people's subconscious mind.
Okay.
It's the strongest thing in the world. It takes 66 days to reprogram, but it continues. It's
Right.
not something you just start and you stop, you know? Just
Right.
like exercising. If you stop, your body loses that momentum, you know?
Right.
So 66 days for people following me anywhere more than 3 months, subconsciously they're on a higher frequency,
Right.
whether they know it or not. If
Right.
you read 2 posts a day and watch a video a day for 66 days straight,
Mm-hmm.
straight, it really gets you on another frequency. And I wanted to put people on that frequency and just to remind them whenever they come back to the page, remind them of number one, God,
Mm-hmm.
number two, your purpose, and number three, you're just a human being.
Right.
Chill.
Right.
Like, don't just not do nothing, but
Right.
don't act like you have to do everything, because that's not our job.
Right. Right.
Your
Right.
job is to wake up, be grateful for life, do what you can, and let the rest do itself.
Right.
Do what you can in a pure form, in an inspirational form, and in a form of loving yourself and the universe.
Right.
The rest handles itself. So now imagine, like, at least I could tap in with you. At least I could tap in just like how I randomly tapped in with you. I could tap in randomly with other people to support them. I never had that.
Right. Right.
Hence why I do this with you. You didn't message me. You didn't do nothing. I'm like, yo, I go out of my way to be like, yo, I fucks with your page. What you're doing is amazing. Let's do a podcast, you know?
Right.
Because I want that one day you'll be where I'm at and even higher.
Right.
I just want to be a reminder for you to do that.
Right. Right.
For it to be a snowball, right? For it to be a snowball effect. Because a lot of times in society, in social media, it's just like everybody thinks if they give a compliment or if they help somebody, they're gonna die. It's not that serious, man.
Yeah, it's a little weird how, but I also think that it's like cultural, like culturally we hoard information. Like we won't tell somebody else something
Right.
out of fear of them taking the same information that you have and adding their own, you're right, using it, adding whatever spin, the personal experience that they want to add to it. And I don't know. I see it two ways. I see it as a bad thing is because you want to make sure that you're giving a hand up, you know.
Right.
You know, but I could also see it from the other side. It's like, you know, if you have bought certain types of experiences, you know, and paid for it, bought and paid experience is totally different. Bought is like when you go through an education system and paying for somebody's education. As far as like paid is more so where you sacrifice, failed, and learned from it. You
went
know?
Through that time.
Right. I can understand why some are like, you know, well, you're gonna have to pay me for my experience. You don't. I'm not gonna just give you your experience.
Yo, but even okay, paying for an experience is a service. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Because everyone has a service. For you, you put those things on t-shirts, crew neck, sweaters, and that's a service you give to people. They have to buy it from you because it's dope, like I was telling you earlier. But they don't put a service out there because a service is business. Somebody has to support us. We have to support.
Right.
So it's not that. It's just a cultural blockage.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, when you don't want to feed the next person, when mentally, physically, and emotionally, I'm not talking about feed as in food or money.
Right.
When you don't feed them subconsciously, when you don't feed them mentally, then you're only blocking yourself, because that person can literally, the universe can open so many doors that person can grab you.
Right. True.
Who's to say tomorrow you might grow successfully?
Right.
And who's the last person you did an interview with? Me. But like, I don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that stays with you.
Yeah.
Yo, Zachary did that for me. Yo, Zachary, I appreciate you, fam. Come through.
Right.
Be like, yo, Zachary, fam. This is how I did it. Here you go.
Right.
That's an assist back. That's an alley-oop back. You know.
Right.
Service is one thing, and we're supposed to be of service to the people, to the universe. You know. Okay. For example, the people that think like that, the people that move like that.
Right.
When you wake up every day, do you question the ground? Do you question water? Do you question food? That's the universe giving you. And you don't see universe saying, yo, I paid for this. I made this.
Right.
Now you got to pay back. Like,
it
doesn't work that way. You're getting millions and billions of things every day.
Right.
that keep you alive, that keep you healthy, that keep you successful. And the universe, the only thing it asks you back is to get the next man ready for it, to
Right.
get the
Right.
next person ready for it. Because you got to understand that's going to create that's going to break generational curses.
True. True.
And that's what we're trying to do. So if our own people, if our people are not doing that for each other, who's supposed to do that for us?
True, true, and
So
yeah, and our people are really. I mean, they are. Some are, and some aren't.
right,
I think
right,
it just comes down to the fact that everybody's giving out of the portion that they have.
right,
So if you are, if you've been a good steward of what you have, then you already know off the back that you can give 10% up front
right,
and be
right,
okay with the 90 because you've trained and you've come
right,
accustomed
right,
to sowing that 10. Whereas some, they'll receive the whole 100
100, right,
and only try to, give a 1% after they done
right,
spent the 99. You know what I mean? It
right,
kind of just like,
right,
so it just depends on where you start your giving at,
right.
and if you start from the beginning, then you're gonna always continue to be a giver. But if you're a hoarder,
Exactly. And it's also just where they are in life and experience and everything. Because as you go on, you'll tend to understand the more you give. And the first thing that comes to mind when we say give is people think about money. Money is
right,
actually the lowest thing you can give.
right, right,
Money is nothing but a paper. It helps in everything, but like simple little things is the most amazing things that you give.
right,
Conversations, opportunities,
right,
energy, just simple
right,
things like
right,
a hi, a compliment. So 100%, it's just, I wanted to remind people, culturally it's a blockage,
right,
because all you have to do is, even for example, if you want, this is what I tell people, right? If you want someone to do something for you, rather than messaging them and asking them to do it for you, provide them value.
yeah, yeah,
Value, bro. Because imagine, everybody wants something.
right, right, right,
Now imagine if you're hitting one person up, imagine how many of the people feel the same way about you as you do about that person.
right,
Clearly you're hitting them up for a reason.
right,
It's crazy because I'll literally tell you, I've had people,
mm-hmm.
human beings, ask me to pay their rent for them on Instagram.
Wow, okay,
Their rent. So imagine that. Imagine if I'm going through that. Imagine what a Will Smith is going through, bro.
right, right, right. Just
So
I just need a little help here, something like that.
right,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like
That makes sense.
pay my rent. I have a company, invest in it, buy
Right,
my company. Just
right,
all types of stuff, but come with the right value, because that's what somebody wants.
right,
If right now, if I want to do a podcast with you, I'm not going to be like, hey, can you do a podcast with me? Nah, I'm going to be like, hey, peace and blessings to you. Your page is amazing. Your energy is amazing. I wanted to bring this value to you of having a conversation. If by any chance you can, amazing. If not, much appreciation also.
right,
That gives value. You
right,
tell them how much you are inspired by them, by their page, because clearly you want to do the podcast with them for a reason.
right,
So
right.
go start with that.
Yeah,
That's a value. Start with the fact that you want to do something for them because they're doing something. In
right,
return, that builds their self-esteem and confidence. And
right,
when they read that and they're happy, by the end of it, they're gonna say yes to it.
right, right,
They
right,
didn't read. They didn't read what you need from the beginning. They
right,
read the accomplishment from the beginning. They read a compliment from the beginning.
right,
So
right,
little things like that, and little game plans that help you throughout life. Little things that you pick up, because every single person wants something. It's just how you go about it. If you're
right.
asking for someone for money and if you're asking for someone for opportunity, those are two different things.
True, true,
So
true.
opportunity is providing service and value. Money
Right,
is just you trying to cut every other corner and trying to get right to the bag.
right, 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 right. That makes sense though. So let's see, like you giving a lot. Jeez, let me unpack that just a little bit. Um, I really like what you said about giving value. Um, my thing, I guess I'm trying to ask when it comes down to opportunity or money, which honestly, money is definitely the last thing that
Right,
anybody really want to ask for, especially if
right,
you're starting your own business.
right,
A lot of times, initially, you think that you need a investor to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do as far as your business is concerned. But it's like
right,
that's not a
That's
true
not it.
statement at all,
Right.
because
Right.
you have to put your own equity in trying to figure out, the structure, the experience, what exactly you
Right.
want people to encounter. It's like once
Right.
you get to a certain space in your business, after a while you start rejecting investors for real, because you
Right.
like, I don't
Right.
want to
I
uh
want to have full ownership. I don't want nobody in it. I
true.
did it from the ground up by myself.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
outside of that, you don't want to be in a space where there's kind of like a tainted opinion, because once
Right.
once ownership is involved, or other partners or other owners, then you have to compromise the vision that you were given.
Right.
And I personally feel like, my time frame for running a business and getting to it to its success level is 5 years. I know in five
Mm.
years I need fresh perspective, fresh
Right.
influence, a fresh vision. So
Right.
I know that at that time I'm gonna need to kind of like take a back seat so that this can continue to move forward in whatever avenue that it needs to continue to move forward, to continue to
Right.
push the vision and the message forward. But when it comes down to opportunities, how do you gauge whom you're going to give opportunity to?
Great, great, great question. I give opportunity to who deserves it.
Mm,
Everybody wants it, but not everyone deserves it, right?
right.
If I come by your page and I barely see anything and I don't see you supporting yourself, how can I support you? Because my
Okay.
support won't do anything for you if it doesn't come from you.
Right. Right.
Even right now, no matter how many compliments and how much love I show you, if you don't love yourself, it won't do anything for you.
Right.
In the
Right.
moment, it might make you smile, but right after that, you're gonna go back to your own phase, you know.
Right.
So I say that to say, I go to people's page and off their energy, off their feed, and off their inspiration, I'm like, yo, all they need is a little guidance, a little push. And if
Hmm.
I can be for that, dope. If I can be that, dope. And if I can't, then I pray for them.
Right.
So just what are you doing for yourself? How are you pushing your brand? Are you committed to yourself more than anybody else's?
Right.
So for you, when I went on your page and I seen the hustle, I seen even your podcast page, I seen the videos and everything. Those are not simple things to do.
Yeah.
Like as a content creator, I know that.
Right.
I know the amount of apps it takes and putting videos and labels and branding, and it's not easy. So
Right.
the consistency of it, I'm like, bet, yo, this is an assist, this is an alley oop, an easy one too. It's not something that I have to think about that they deserve it. Nah, this person's really putting in that work, and let me have a conversation with them. Let me learn from them as they can learn from me, and from there on, that's how business starts. That's how opportunities start. More
Right.
than that, that's how friendships and brotherhood start.
Right. Right.
So like you have my personal number.
Right.
It doesn't get more personal than that.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? So that's how growth starts. That's how people really tap into another frequency, because now off the respect and off the connection that we had off the podcast, you could text me, yo, Zachary, look at this. Oh, bet, yo, check out this book. And that's just how it continues to grow with each other till both of us are successful. And it's going to be like a healthy competitiveness.
Right. Right.
Unless like
Right.
we're in business together, and or even more so, unless like competition actually brings us together in business.
Right.
Because competition is not a bad thing. It just becomes bad when you put bad intentions into it, you know?
True. True.
So
True.
opportunity comes to those who create it.
Mm.
What are you doing for yourself? How are you pushing your brand? How are you pushing your mind, your vision? Because I can't do that for you. No matter what I do for you, you're gonna go back to your old ways.
Right. Right. Right.
So opportunity is comes to those who create it.
Dope, dope. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. I kind of want you to talk, just go delve a little bit more into competition. I know you already said
Yeah,
a lot about it, but just based off of your own personal experience,
yeah.
um, what would you say? How has competition benefited you?
Yo, I am competitive
Mm,
as a mother.
mm-hmm,
Like, because I always been, since I played basketball for a very long time, right?
mm-hmm,
Like I, it's not like a it's not like a loser hating to lose, like where like you start fighting, but it's just a feeling that you have that you don't want to lose. Like it's like a competition feeling. I'm like, yo, I could have done this and this. How did I lose?
Right.
It's like that moment of sitting out on the bench or on the side that could have been you.
Right.
And if you handled your things accordingly, if you handled your business, you wouldn't be on the side.
Right.
And that's just life. We're on the side right now because we're just executing the right things till our time comes.
Right.
And our time only comes when the execution becomes a momentum, becomes a consistent momentum, you know?
Right.
So competition has always been a really dope thing to me. And like even I pray for everyone. I don't hold grudges, but there's people and brands that came by me that like repost me but don't shout me out.
Gotcha.
Knowing my stuff is on there, like knowing at the bottom you see at InspireThaGreat but don't tag me.
Right.
Knowing they use my stuff, and like I've even literally seen people like color off my name.
Wow.
And my brand, and use my videos or like color off everything but the caption and the artist. So things like that is dope because clearly it means I'm doing my work.
Right.
It means for it to be copied, for it to be used and that value to be reposted, you're doing, because a lot of people know my brand.
Right.
And it's so different from others that when they see it, yo, that's Zachary. Right. Yo, that's InspireThaGreat. So whether you want to tag me or not, literally all the time I see whether it's Master P, whether it's people posting me Charlemagne the God, I personally usually don't even find out. People send it to me.
Gotcha. Okay.
All in the comments, oh, InspireThaGreat, you're lit, this, InspireThaGreat, da da da. So once you become such a value and inspiration to people, they start doing that for you.
Right.
They become your advertisement and your marketing.
Right.
So I say that to say, like, of course, when you see things of that nature, you're like, yo, I am doing my work and everything, but bet you want to do that, sooner than later, you have to tag me.
Right.
Sooner than later, you're going to feel dumb for not tagging me. You're going to feel like people are going to be like, yo, why are you hating? Tag the man, because I did my work so much. Right. I'm at such a frequency that you have to align with it.
Right.
So competition has always been dope to me. I could see pages and be like, yo, like I remember when I had only like 5K followers and I see like 50K or 60K and I'm like, yo, one day I'm going to be that times more.
Right.
Now I am. A year and something later, I am. So competition is very important, very healthy. More than competition, it's also like you gotta balance it. You gotta balance the competition with being inspired also.
Right.
Be in competition with them, but also be like, yo, what are they doing? Don't forget that they clearly are in competition with them because they're dope too.
Right.
So what are they doing? Learn from the momentum, learn from the consistency, learn from the value, learn from the branding, because clearly you're looking at them for that reason.
Right.
You're even in competition, because you're never in competition with someone lower than you.
True.
It's always usually someone higher than you.
Right.
Of course, you can be inspired by someone lower than you. You could tap into someone. It's not lower, I shouldn't say, but someone not of your ability at the moment.
Right. Or rather, it's not necessarily just they haven't. You're not equal as far as
tap
like work
into that
work ethic. I was gonna say
right.
Not having work ethic.
Right, and God willingly, they can easily. Because I've seen people skyrocket.
Right.
One of the ones, I'll tell you, let me try to find his page. He has dreads, long dreads, usually wears, and he usually does videos like this, like selfie videos, and he's even been posted on Shade Room, and he talks about Black ownership, Black power, Black everything. I don't know if you know him. His name starts with J. So me and him talked on Instagram when we're close to each other following, and now I think he's at like 130K.
Crazy. Okay.
Crazy. So I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Shout out to him, I praise for him. But knowing that, I'm like, yo, bet like of course from 30 I think when he was at 30K, I was down there close to it. Right. But from 30K, clearly I advanced as well. Right. Now I'm at 80K and I'm getting closer and closer to him. That's a healthy competition.
Right.
That's someone else down there with me. We caught on a phone call. We've even had phone conversations before.
Right.
Now to see him do that and to see him growing his brand and his success and everything, that's a healthy competition. So things of that nature, like look around you, who's succeeding, who's not, because clearly they're doing something right.
Right.
Study that, tap into that. look at how many times they're posting a day, and next thing you know, you're gonna be right there with them, you know?
Dope, dope, dope. So I'm not sure if I asked you, but what exactly do you accredit your success to becoming an inspirational maven?
That's an amazing question. Definitely my parents
Mm,
had a huge part in that. Them being East African, them being immigrants, them being so strong and literally putting all their plans and their life goals to support us,
mm-hmm,
to bring us to Canada, to be so mentally, physically, and emotionally so strong,
mm-hmm.
and giving us what we need so we could take that and run with it.
Right.
If we don't start with that, then it's nothing else, you know?
Yeah.
Like till 18, we weren't doing us.
Right.
Our parents took care of us, you know? So from 18, of course, it can be younger, but from 18, when you're fully legal and everything, it's your responsibility, your right to try to push yourself so your parents don't have to at a certain age.
Right. Right. Right.
So they can see your success, your fruit of labor before they die, you know?
Right.
That's what we push towards. So um, I'll leave my answer as that because I've always known that I wanted to give my family and especially my parents something they've never had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stability, health, love, happiness, like a lot of things that they have, of course, but not on a level that we want to see it in.
Right. Right.
You want
Right.
to see your mom in a mansion. You want to see your mom traveling the world. You want to see your mom buying whatever she wants. And really, there's nobody that gives back like our parents,
Right. Right.
especially old school. Like the older they are, their give back game is crazy.
Right. Right. Right.
And they teach us that at a young age, you know? So even for my kids now, I'm teaching them a lot of the things that they taught me.
Right.
Patience, prayers, just relax. Not everything is in your control. Just try to do what you can and the rest God will do, you know? Just they don't drive themselves crazy because they know there's a higher source there that'll take care of everything.
Right.
But also they don't sit around and wait for it. So it's a common balance. But I'll definitely give that one to my parents because they're still alive, they're still healthy.
Right.
And to this day I see them on what they've done and how they move and how they act, and that in itself is an inspiration, man. Like immigrating from a whole different country that I was born in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Right.
Like I could have died. They could have died. So running from that, moving around, paperwork, waiting for like it's a lot, man. So much respect and love to them.
Dope, dope. I kind of want you to talk about, because I don't have too many more questions, but
Yeah.
the fact that you are a immigrant, I really would like to say that you guys come to the States or Canada with a completely different perspective than the people that are here, and you take advantage of opportunities. I know that systematically there's so many opportunities that are available to people who are out of the country compared to the people that are from this country. But what is the mindset that you would say that you have had, or how has the being an immigrant benefited you when it comes down to your drive and motivation?
Definitely a lot. So like I was telling you earlier, it's things that we see every day, we're around every day that we don't understand how powerful it is.
Mm-hmm.
Example, your phone is connected to data 24/7.
True.
No matter what.
Right.
In Africa, it's not like that.
Yeah.
You have lights in the house every single night where you can stay up as late as you want or go to sleep as early as you want and wake up early. You don't have that in Africa.
Right.
In Africa, we go to sleep. Well, back then, now, of course, electricity and everything is going to the next level as the years progress and advance, right?
Right.
When I was there, we'd go to sleep, like logically think this. Like, it's crazy because to us, that like, it's even hard to think about yet fathom. So we go to sleep 7, 8 p.m. in the evening. That's when our night barely starts.
Right.
like we're hustlers, so we're sleeping at like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever we need to get the work done, right? Over
Right.
there, the lights turned off right when the sunset ends,
Mm.
7 p.m., 8 p.m., and then the sunset ends early because of course the sunrise is very early in Africa.
Right.
So 7 p.m. all lights are out, so you go to sleep early, sleep peacefully
Mm-hmm.
because you gotta understand over there is different. There's no bills that kill you.
Mm.
Everyone owns their land, everyone owns their house. There's nothing they're paying
Right.
besides like the stuff that they need, food and all that stuff.
Right.
People are not dying and killing themselves to pay 24/7. No
Mm.
matter what happens in that 30-day window,
Right.
they don't care. At the end of that 30-day window, they want their bills.
Right.
They don't care what kind of seizure, Harlem shake, whatever you do in that 30 days, that's on you. At the end of it, just pay your dues. That's how America is, right?
Right.
Over there is different. So turns off at 7 o'clock. They wake up fresh, and I'm talking about fresh at probably 4:35 in the morning.
Crazy.
That's the what time we go to sleep. Last night
Right.
I went to sleep at that time. So
Right.
now
Right.
imagine how much you can get done from 5:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock before even people's day starts,
Crazy.
and you still have the rest of the day. So
Right.
it's things like that if you think about is such an opportunity to us because from 7 o'clock to just 1 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 hours. We can do so much work, and that's for me. When I came back from Africa, I visited back when I was 14 years old. So I came to Canada when I was 8.
Mm.
From 8 to 14, I stayed in Canada. I started working at 13.
Crazy.
My
Okay.
first job was 13. So a couple of weeks from my 14th birthday, and in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, the legal age for working is 14 years old.
Gotcha. Okay.
So me being such a hustler, my sister worked at McDonald's. She was 3 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would ride my bike probably at least 5 miles at
Right.
least.
Okay.
Go to McDonald's and bother them every single day. Yo, can I have a job? Yo, I'm ready. Yo, can I have a job? Finally, after like a good solid 5 days straight back to back, they threw a uniform at me and said, yo, leave us alone, man. Go get ready.
Yeah.
I got my first job
Right.
at 13. Started saving, worked there for 1 year, saved my money, gave it to my parents, and my parents bought me a plane ticket. So my dad went with me to back to Africa where I seen my grandmother. And even then, I'm like, yo, imagine me working at 13 years old. There's people that don't have opportunities and they're 30,
Right.
40 years old.
Right.
Like, it's a different lifestyle, how humble they are, how they take little and make a lot of it.
Right. 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 Right.
Another thing that I've seen is food. We eat even when we're not hungry
True. True.
because there's a fridge it's there.
Right.
When it's not there, you're not going to clearly, what are you going to eat? The wall?
Right.
But the fact that it's there, you're walking by it and you know something is in it. How many times do we open it, look at it, close it?
Right. Right.
Open and look at it as if God is going to put something new that hasn't been there 2 minutes ago.
Than
You
what
know?
you already have going on.
Exactly. So it's little things that we have. And to be honest with you, it's amazing, but it's also like a downfall of ours because like it's you gotta understand when you eat a lot, right? Your body gotta break it down.
Right. Right. It gets exhausted.
Right. So from the time you sleep until the time you wake up is when your body is cleansing itself, when it's cleaning itself because you're not eating.
Right.
So rather than it fighting viruses and diseases and containing your health and repairing your DNA, if the whole day it's fighting off the chemicals that you're putting into your body,
right.
It's not making you as healthy, or it's not giving you the resources you need to push.
Right.
So that's another thing. In Africa, they eat only 3 times a day, not because they can't eat, but because they know eating actually slows you down.
Right.
When you eat, that's why the word niggeritis comes from. We get tired.
Right.
We're
right.
like, yo, fuck this. Let me put boondogs on and just chill for a bit, you know?
Right. Right.
And
right.
then that little bit turns into a nap. That nap turns into laziness. That laziness turns into the whole day is gone.
Right. Right.
So it's things like that woke me up that I've seen in Africa where like people eat breakfast 5 in the morning, leave the house, grind, eat 12 o'clock, don't eat till 6 o'clock. And like those 6-hour windows, they have such energy and such force because they know the timing. Their
Right.
timing is impeccable because they know they only have a few hours or certain hours that they can do what they got to do before they go home and lay down. So for me, when I came back, it was time management. Now, the number, even as with my clients and everything, what I do tell them is break your 24 hours.
Right.
Once you break your 24 hours, you'll understand how much time you're wasting.
Yeah.
Let's say you sleep for 8,
Right.
and let's say you work for 8. There's
Right.
another whole 8 hours left. 8 hours.
Right.
In 8 hours, if I travel from where I live or where my family stays in Canada to Seattle, Washington, I'm literally almost at the border, and it's far.
Right.
8 hours is not a joke. It's a very long time. In
Right.
8 hours, if you fly from America, you can be in UK. Let that sink in.
Right.
8 hours is a very long time. So benefit of the doubt. Let's say you eat and drive, you eat, shower, and drive from work. That's 1 hour. Let's say another hour you chill out, relax, and watch something. There's still another 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't understand how long 6 hours is. Try to sit somewhere in a room by yourself, no TV, no nothing, with 6 hours, and see if you don't go crazy.
Right. 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 Your mind
Six
start playing
hours,
tricks on you after
right?
the first hour, maybe even 30 minutes.
Exactly. So 6 hours is not long to us because we have all this. We
Right.
have this. We have this. We have this. You
Keep
can just make phone calls, FaceTime, text,
right.
social media. So time management is what I learned from Africa and what I learned from coming from that side of the world, and holding myself accountable. Like
Mm.
right now, if I don't make this call with you, I know you're gonna hold me accountable. Yo, Zachary, what's up, bro? Like you said a certain time, we did a certain time, and out of respect my time, as I
Yeah.
would respect yours.
Right.
That's you holding you accountable. But
Right.
when we do wrong, who's holding us accountable?
Exactly. We don't hold
Nobody.
ourselves accountable
Right.
for it.
We dodge that bullet because it's us doing it to ourselves.
Right.
You don't take your phone away. You don't put yourself in a timeout. You don't give yourself the necessary feedback, the real honest feedback you need to get you to where you are.
Right.
So accountability and time management is what we're missing, and that's what Africa taught me.
Yeah.
So
Dope, man. That's awesome. I really like. When I initially came to Portland, I came
yeah,
with the consciousness of being a migrant,
right,
immigrant. Even though I'm
yeah,
from Georgia,
right,
I really like the wave of when immigration first began, where people would
mm,
just come, be in like whatever low place they in, and how they ended up just grinding until
right,
they took the little that they had and invested in themselves,
right,
and were able to build and create bigger things out of that. So I really respect the not only the things that you guys learn from where you're from, but
yeah,
the work that you put in with the opportunities that you have available to you. And I think
right,
that is just a true testament of character, to be able to fully take advantage of an
right,
opportunity.
right.
Um,
And to say one more thing about that, also, yes, from that side, but also we get a lot of inspiration and inspiration and gain from over here too.
right,
Like, if we say it's a one-way thing, then we would be lying to ourselves.
right,
There's, as much as there's people that are not doing it the way they're supposed to, there are people that are.
right,
So also give acknowledgement to that, like coming to Canada and seeing people move, how they move and work and grind, whether they're riding a bike or bus or taxi, it don't matter what it is, but doing whatever they need to do to feed their family.
right,
That in itself is, you gotta understand, doing whatever by any means necessary to feed your family is the biggest inspiration in the world,
right,
because now you're being selfless. Like,
right,
you're not, like, you're getting out of yourself to give back to people, give back to your family, give back to your kids.
right,
And if we're doing that, everything else aligns. So there's millions of people doing that in America. As far as me, you, like, even for you, you're not a father yet or anything, but you're working towards it. This
right,
is for your legacy.
right,
You're not doing this for right now. You're not doing it for high fives. Even for me, I'm doing it for a 10-year window, a 20-year window.
right,
I don't care about nothing happening right now. That's momentary.
right.
That will pass just like yesterday did.
Right.
But there's a video that I just seen that J. Cole was like, yo, I appreciate all the acknowledgement. And this is 2013, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he said, I appreciate the acknowledgements and everything, but like, I'm not going to get all happy and dance. Like, I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to love the moment.
Right.
But where am I going to be in 2020?
Right.
Like, he said that in 2013. Now, look how massive he is now.
Right.
Still giving us that energy, that content, that music, that amazing music. So it's cool to have what you have now, but how do you see yourself in 20 years?
Right.
And that's where writing, planning, that's where being a visionary comes in. And that's what we do. It's difficult because the two hardest things to be is a visionary and an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because there's nothing there for you. If you have a career, you know what you're working towards or
Right.
where you're headed.
Right.
Your goal's like, oh, I'm going to start off right here, advance every 6 months to get to the top of the chamber, to get to the top of the company. There's
Right.
not that for entrepreneurs. You could be at one place for 5 years, and then the next month go skyrocket to 100,000 a day,
Right.
$1 million a day. So it's the hardest part because that's where your faith is tested.
Right.
That's where everything that you thought you believed in, everything you thought you were, like, really haunts you. And that's where your mind plays tricks on you, like you said earlier.
Right.
Like, there's days that I wake up, I'm like, yo, am I doing it really?
Right.
Like, am I really doing it? Like, I'm posting, I have content, I have inspiration, but how am I doing it? And there's some days that I wake up, I'm like, yo, I am doing it.
Right.
Like, I know I'm doing it because I'm waking up every day and I'm not giving up.
Right.
That in itself is doing it.
Yeah.
It's not the labels we put on it or the success that we think we're going to get from it, but the fact that you're actually trying and taking a step at a time is you doing it, period, you know?
Makes sense. Dope, man. Wow, that's amazing. So last two questions, and I'll let you go. So what does your legacy work look like for you when it's said and done? What you want your life to look like?
My legacy of work is gonna be incredible. There's one of the things I'll let you know, and I'll speak it into existence. There's a building that I wanna build and create. That's gonna be a fully functioning building that's financially, knowledgeably, and every other word that you can think of, that you're not gonna need anything outside of it. So it's gonna be a legacy building. That building is gonna have anything from a bank to yoga room to study room to meeting rooms to everything that we need,
right,
as people, as community, that we could tap into. So daycare, whatever it is that you need is going to be in that building, so you don't have to leave that building.
Right.
The only time you're leaving that building is when you're going home, or after you do after you finish what you need to do, and even then you don't want to leave the building. So I want to create that type of building where it's gonna be a massive legacy push. It's gonna be something that creates more legacy.
Right.
That building isn't a legacy; it's of the legacies of people. Right. So, if you know a Black man or an East African immigrant,
right,
you can do it too.
Right.
You are a part of that. You are a part of the journey. You are a part of the vision. And I'm taking away all the necessary holdbacks, as far as you don't have to pay for this, and that. The building is going to be taken care of. Right. So when you're in there, there's literally no services you're paying for.
Right.
So that's my goal, to take that off people's weight. Daycare is taken care of. If the building is guarded, everything you need in the building is good to go. So that way, mentally, physically, and emotionally, you're thinking about yourself and your future, not momentary. Right. Because you gotta understand, if someone's starving, they can't think 10 years ahead.
Right.
A starving stomach, a starving mind can't think 10 years ahead. They're thinking in the moment, because we have to survive before anything else.
Right.
But once person gets out of surviving, then they come to their morals and principles, and they come to their thoughts and ideas and planning. Right. Because now they're not just a survivor. They're not just doing anything just to feed themselves and just to get to the next point. So the legacy is looking amazing. It's looking greater than myself, because I always want to give back, and it's looking like I want to give my kids companies. I want to give my kids names. I want to give my kids opportunities that I've never had, and creating something where it stays years after I pass.
So that's amazing. So what's your definition of wealth? That's your last question.
My definition of wealth is inner peace.
Mm,
Once you have inner peace, everything else works out
right,
because it only starts with self.
right,
Inner peace gives you the light, gives you the energy, gives you the feedback, gives you the alignment, gives you everything you need because you're not looking outside of yourself.
right, right,
You're meditating, you're getting your energy and your frequency right for the universe to take care of it.
right,
Because once you think it's outside of you, you're going to be rushing bus to bus, train to train, this to that, killing your health. And once you're killing your health, you can't align with the universe because you're not fully there. You're not aligned on that frequency.
right,
So wealth is inner peace to me because we want, of course, there's nobody that says we don't want money because money creates a lot. But money is also, if you really think about it and you break it down, you work for a company. The company makes money off the government. The government makes money off of printing it. Printing is made off of the trees, of nature. Nature is of earth. Earth is of God. If you connect it like that, it all comes back to the higher source.
mm-hmm.
There's nothing we can create. Everything was created before we were created.
Right,
So we came here because everything was already here for us.
right,
So when you think you have to create everything, you don't. You just have to align with everything. When you think you have to find something, you don't have to find something. Because if you use the word find, and even from me to you, try for you and for other people that you speak to, try not to say find your purpose. Your purpose is not lost.
mm,
Your keys can be lost. When you
right,
find it, you're going to lose it again. But if we use the word find,
mm-hmm.
it's a negative quotation because when you find something, you have the ability to lose it again.
Gotcha.
Weight. Look at weight. People
mm-hmm.
lose weight. But
Mm-hmm.
when you lose something, you feel like you have to find it again.
Right.
So it's the words that we use that we speak into existence that hold so much power. So you align with your purpose. You align with whatever you need, and it's already there. It's already set in stone. It's already built in your faith. It's already built within you. Right. So you just do whatever you got to do and whatever you need to pursue it, and the rest of it gets handled accordingly. For instance, look at this. Right. If this isn't a prime example, you did not message me. I didn't even message you. How did I come by your page? Right. So it was just a timely thing. It aligned it to happen because we were on the same frequency.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't know about your schedule, if you had your schedule lined up, and I'm sure you do to an extent, but you didn't foresee me being in your schedule.
Definitely did not.
Right. So things are like that happen because you're doing your part, I'm doing my part, and the rest of it just comes together.
Right.
So just do your part. Yeah, just do your part and just watch what we say. Watch what we say. We're not lost, man. When you say you're lost, you're telling God he doesn't know what he's doing. So we gotta be careful. It's very, very, very powerful. The power of the tongue, the power of the mind, and our thoughts is very powerful. So use align, because our vocabulary is so full of find. And once you just find, you find the other word, the opposite word of find is lose.
Gotcha.
You're not lost. You're not losing anything. You're not less of anything. You are what you are. And you just have to align with the right energy, frequency, and people, and the rest happens by itself. We just need one opportunity, one phone call, one meeting, one chance, and that's it. We skyrocket. So.
Dope. That's amazing. But before you go, I want to ask, when did your content or your production with your brand and business shift for you?
I'm telling you. Okay, so you sent me the questions and this wasn't fully in it, right?
Okay.
I'm telling you, you asked this for a reason.
Okay.
And I've said a lot, but if I could tell you one thing that will truly help you, you asked this for the right reason. Right. I'm telling you, this was connected by the universe. My brand got to the next level. My brand and content got to the next level. and I'm going to use one word in capital letters when I put intention behind it.
Okay.
It was at, I want to say, anywhere from 2,800 to 3,500 followers. Right before I was shifting from Hustle the Great to Inspire the Great. Yo, give me 1 second. I want to show you how real this is, okay?
Okay.
I'm going in my book bag. There's 2 books I'm pulling out. This is the new one, as you can see. It's clean.
Okay.
This is the older one that I finished, right?
Okay.
Now look at this.
Plans.
That's just, that's me studying. That's my plans. That's my vision, right?
Right.
Now let me go to the part where I wrote down the intention that I'm speaking of.
Okay.
And because every time I tell people what to do or how to do it, I want them to see I did it. So
right.
I don't know if it's backwards or you could read it, but that says Sam Walton. That's me studying Walmart.
Okay.
That was a part of, this is, I don't know if you can read that. This one right here. 67 steps.
67 steps to health, wealth, love, and happiness.
That's me reprogramming my subconscious mind.
Okay.
Remember earlier I told you it takes 66 days.
Right.
So the course that I took was 67 days.
Okay.
So I say these things because I did them.
Okay.
There's definitely, I'm going to send you something. There's something called Definite Chief Aim.
Okay.
Where you write a statement into the universe about the life you want in a 5 to 10 year window. And literally what I'm writing is exactly what's coming to life right now. Right. Definite Chief Aim got started by, or I can't say got started by, but Definite Chief Aim, how I heard it or how I came by it was by Bruce Lee.
Okay. Okay.
He did it in 1969, where he wrote his statement about his purpose, his alignment, and his vision of life. And literally the next year, everything started working out to that writing. That's how powerful. So I'm going to send that to you to help you with that.
Okay.
Now let me find. It's crazy you asked this. Let me find this.
So, well, I'm glad that I'm in alignment. We on one accord.
So just a couple of things so people can see it and you can read it to them. So right there, just that and the date. First say the date.
Inspire the Great Intention, August 31st, 2018.
So I'm 1 month away from my 2-year window.
Congrats.
So thank you. So I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
Inspire the Great, August 31st, 2018, intention, like you read. Started the page on a positive, motivational intent even before the page was Inspire the Great. I wanted my page to take them out of their negative thoughts, surroundings, and life for the moment of time they are on my page to bring them awareness so they can feel the energy and want that energy in their life. Once they are aware, they will understand what they are doing and start doing differently. They will adjust their frequency and share their knowledge and energy with somebody else. That will continue the spark of great thoughts and doings to make the world a better place. Inspire the Great, knowledge and awareness is power. Uplifting, enlightening, encouraging, empowering. Right in front of you.
Wow. Okay.
Dope. So now let me tell you how powerful this was.
Right.
I said to you, I did it around anywhere from 2,800 to 3,500 followers. In 1 month, my page skyrocketed by 10,000 followers. Wow. 1 month after writing that. That's the power of writing. That's the power of speaking it into the universe. And not only that, believing it so much that you show by action.
Right. Right.
Writing is one, believing is another, connecting it with emotion and faith takes it to a different form.
Right.
Like I told you, I didn't know. This was my 4th page before Inspire the Great was big.
Right.
One, I could have stopped at the 2nd. I could have stopped at the 3rd. I just continued because I didn't know how or when, but I knew it was bound to happen.
Right. Right.
This question was aligned by the universe. You were supposed to ask it. So the power of intention and the power of visualizing your life far beyond what your eyes can see and what your mind can grasp is what gets you to that level.
Right.
And I always say I have a vision that's greater than what the mind can see
Mm.
or what the eyes can see even in the moment. The mind can see it if you train it, but the eye can't because the eye can only see what you see in the moment.
Right. Right. Right.
So um to go back to the question, what took me to the next level is intention. Once I went from shooting anywhere to shooting at a target I knew I was supposed to shoot at, it just skyrocketed to the next level.
Right.
Once I took it from a place of I don't know if it's gonna happen, but let me try to I know God got me,
Right.
and let me just do my part. It skyrockets to the next level. So if you could take anything from me, be very intentional by what you do, by what you speak, by what you think and believe,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of it is not for you to do. There's no doors that you can open by yourself.
True.
You barely open your eyes by yourself.
Right.
God gives you that opportunity. God gives you that another chance, another day, and every day is a blessing. So let's make it one, you know?
Right, right, right. Well, man, Inspired the Great has given so much information as well as wisdom. Um, like, wow, I'm over. Like, I'm blown. Just, um,
A lot.
oh,
I
oh,
appreciate you, man. You're doing a great job also. And to say one last thing, man, don't believe everything you guys see.
right.
Please. And I can tell you this from a brother, from someone who's at the top of Instagram, who has 40 million impressions
Mm-hmm.
at 80,000 followers and everything. It's not what you think it is. The numbers isn't, the people aren't. The reason why I do this, besides giving that support to my people, besides giving that inspiration back to my people, is to let you know, like I'm real. I'm a human being.
Right,
You can feel it from how I talk, from having a conversation with you longer than an hour.
right,
Literally right after this, I have to jump in the shower and get ready for work.
right,
I woke up out of sleep to have this conversation with you because this is important to me. I've came by pages that have hundreds of thousands of followers. They're not who they think they are.
right.
If you have a conversation with them, it's easy to post behind a screen.
Mm,
It's way harder to do it with emotion when someone can feel the energy.
right, right, right.
So don't believe everything you see on the screen. It's not what it is.
Yeah,
Someone can look cool. Someone can look like they know it all. Someone can look like they have it all. It ain't that at all.
yeah, yeah.
That's why if you really want to know your pages and if you guys want to question, please start questioning everything. Why isn't your favorite page going on live?
Right, right,
They can't because
right.
they can post and they can be behind the screen. But when it comes to human interaction, when it comes to feeling passion and emotions, they can't connect to that level
Mm,
because they don't even have that within themselves.
gotcha.
So don't believe everything that you guys see and just start questioning everything, whether it's banks, whether it's people, whether it's brands.
Right,
Not everything that you see is gold. Not everything that you see is glitter. Not everything that you see is made to be what it is, you know?
right,
So I just give back like this. I go on Instagram lives. I jump on podcasts and everything to show that I'm a real person and more so to show that Instagram ain't it, man.
yeah,
It's just a brand. It's just a business and everything, but it's not life.
right,
It's there. There's a lot of good can come from it, but a lot of sidetracking comes from it
right,
because people just want to show the good. They never show what they're going through.
right,
And that ain't me, man. Even for my brand, I don't want to show what I have.
right,
I'm successful beyond my years. I'm grateful. God is great. I'm 28 years old. I could be in jail. I could be dead. I could be doing anything. But the fact that I'm a father, I'm successful, I have a great job, opportunity to create no matter what. I'm healthy. That in itself is success. But to come back here and be like, I go through it too, man.
right,
The overthinking that you guys are going through, the ideas, the plans, I'm still going through it. So I
right,
don't want to come here and be like, I have it all. I have
right,
80,000 followers. I'm lit. It ain't that, man. 80,000
right,
followers is lit. But tomorrow, if my page gets disconnected, I have this connection.
right, right, right.
I have someone that I connected with on a higher source, on a higher frequency. So with that being said, man, continue to do what you do. I appreciate you. I wanted to tap in with you and let you know, man, no matter how big you're doing it or how small you're doing it, we're all inspiring somebody.
Right.
And when you think about how you feel or how you don't feel in the moment, just also remember there's people looking up to you. It's outside of you. It's more than you, the bigger picture, you know?
Right.
So it's to give back to each other, to help each other, and to know that God got us no matter what.
Dope, dope. Well, Man, thank you so much for
No
the
problem.
positive affirmation, as well as just giving me the other side, or giving us the other side of the information. Because a lot of times people do see numbers, but what I
Right.
also learned, that just because a person has a whole lot of numbers doesn't mean
Doesn't
that
mean
they
nothing.
actually have
Right.
the relationships,
Right.
and that's what I'm finding to be most important in my
Right.
growth process. I'm not in a space where I want the ghost followers. I want to be able to actually know who I'm talking to, or
The
be able to
real.
help
Right.
where I can. That's one of the reasons why when I do connect to a new person, it was like, if I can assist in any way, just reach out and let me know.
Right.
Just because you never know how you can connect the dots. Like you said,
Right.
anybody can give money, but
Right.
to be able to give opportunity or
Right.
education, or for somebody else to learn from our own failures, is
Right.
all about is what we'll talk, and what creating wealth, and breaking generational curses, and building generational wealth
Right.
is about. So
Right. Yo,
again,
and the numbers, going back to the numbers,
yeah,
their numbers are always made to be played with.
gotcha, gotcha.
Numbers are very they're not the realest of the realest, right? For
Right.
instance, I want to give you guys a game. If you guys go to a page that has 200,000 followers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's a number that you would see their videos being at that would be like, yo, that's a little bit weird. If you have 200,000 followers, why is such a small portion of your people not watching it?
Right.
Numbers are not real.
Right.
I've seen a page that has 180,000 followers that a video only has 4,000 views.
Mm.
Where the fuck is the other 176,000 people?
Right. 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 Right.
It's
Right.
not. So on a page like mine that only has 80,000 followers, one of my videos has 800,000 views.
Gotcha.
That's not me. That's God, bro.
Right. Right.
That's not me, because there's a pure intention behind it. There's a pure alignment behind it where people feel it, grasp to it, and everything. If I have 80,000, how can 800,000, an extra zero, see it?
Right.
Like it's like 800,000 is damn near a million.
Right.
We're talking about like Will Smith and Cardi B numbers.
Right.
So I say that to say, if the numbers are there, the numbers are cool and everything, but it ain't everything that you think it is.
Right.
Start questioning everything for what it is. Why aren't people jumping on live? Why aren't people tapping in with you guys? Why aren't people jumping on the podcast and everything? There's things that we need to question, but yeah, we're gonna do our part. We're gonna put that energy into the universe, and everything that we're meant to get, everything that we're meant to receive,
Right.
and everything we're deserving of will come back to us, and that's
Right.
all we can do.
Amen. Amen. Well, I won't hold you too longer. I want to thank you so much
No problem.
for showing up to Wealth Talk TV, and I'm gonna hit you up after this. All right, man?
Most definitely. Peace and blessings, everyone. I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you.
Blessings.